A gold player plays Omen. Looks like you're somewhat consistent. Seems like you have either pop-off games or you do like okay. You should not TP there. So you TPing here, they can be out and they're just staring at you. You're alone, so you can't even be used as bait. So this is just a really bad TP.
I'm dying.
You don't want to do that. This replacement's a little low as well.
Spike down B.
Green is out though.
It could be flame.
I have the spike. Spike planted.
The spot's okay, but it's more suited for someone like Raze, Jet, or like Chamber, if you can manage to have time to set up there. You can't really get out as quickly, and it's a one and done angle.
Cover going on.
Help, elbow.
Sage cross.
One enemy remaining.
That's or no.
You're also crouching a lot. The crouch through the smoke, I can say it's okay, but you don't even really want to do it then. You really don't want to crouch as much as you're crouching.
They are standing.
Because like you can tell it's a habit. And you're gonna want to break that as soon as possible. So this run, you probably don't even want to buy that. Just don't buy anything, just full save. Just so you can get the max amount of creds. And this is a eco for you guys. So you should be calling to your team to try and make some sort of play. So just a suggestion. Since you're Omen, you could do a 5-stack on hookah. You can walk so you don't make noise. When they're ready to entry, you throw your blind through hookah. 4 of them will be charging through, so they'll get a kill, grab a gun, and then you all exit onto site. Now, since you have sight in this situation, you'll end up like with control. Let's say you clean up site, there's no one else here. Since you guys don't have guns, you're gonna want to take more map control. So the guys without guns will move up to about this position and see if they can take spawn. If they can take spawn, they can hold this entire area. If not, then they can just hold right there. Once they're holding there, they'll be able to get a kill, grab gun, and rotate back onto site. And then you can hold with 2 guns. But you gotta do something crazy. You gotta wait for your Sky's dog. You've seen him prepping to dog. And even if he wasn't, you would call it. So like right here, walking up, everything was good until right here. You see him with his dog out. I mean, I know you're focused more on here, but like even with the sound cue, you shouldn't really be peeking into this when you have your fade.
Got him.
Who will I spot first?
Here. Time to hunt.
So you should be looking to get some value out of this dog. So it just cleared all this. You don't need to be walking, and they know you're here because of the dog. You should move quicker.
There's one.
Hawk out. Last player standing.
You seemed a little unprepared. So this bird flashed to the point where like this wall outside of showers would cover most of over here. The only places they could have been was heaven, back site, or right here. You clear those. but you weren't really ready for this fight. It's like you. Oh, it's like I don't know. It's like you. It feels like you know he's there, but you don't. You don't really take this fight very good. It's like you kind of didn't expect it. It's like you weren't really paying attention. So you gotta be a little bit more focused.
Blinding.
That was a little early. So you threw that. They're out here. They're not gonna get as much value out of that. You need to throw it when they're like at the angle.
Raise is A.
Close, close.
Fire in the hole!
Okay, so you effectively did nothing. The idea with like if you're going to make a play like this, you should be playing here because they could have walked up and now they could have access to your raise. What you need to do is you need to be there, walk up, take space, and see if you can get some control in U-Haul. The fact that you came out into long, but not only did you go too long to break your chain, and now your team is vulnerable to a flank, you didn't do anything with the space you did have. So you could have walked up, took it, get some sort of information, and you didn't do any of that. So there was no point in doing this. It would have been better for you to just play with your team, since you can't even use your utility globally. They'll need you for your entry, especially on A.
Bomb buddy out. Reloading.
Okay, that TP's good, so that means there's one there. Could be some B site. You should fully rotate. So you were a bit slow on this.
He's you.
And four.
Here is dead.
Oh,
Spike down
Good
A.
awareness.
Last player standing.
Bad awareness.
Just some good old hard yakka. Standing in between us and victory.
You were so aware. But the portal, like you remembered, but then you were not ready for that angle.
My treats.
I can buy somebody. I have my ult.
It's like you're not really that focused.
Chamber,
I
can
need
you put
this.
a chip?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Snuff them out.
If you're gonna take this angle, you need to be faster. They could be holding this and now you're at a disadvantage.
Help him, help him.
Another really bad TP.
Coming in.
It's like
I'll say heaven.
Going out.
you were also standing way too wide in the open before your smoke went down. And there was absolutely no point in doing this. You should be tucking short or doubling up with your... Actually, yeah, I would double up in U-Haul if anything. Because he's about to get pushed by ISO. You should be playing with your team here. At the very least, go short. The fake TP doesn't do anything. Spike's down.
Sage,
Okay, so they know where one is. Okay, now they know you're all here. I would recommend taking TP and rotate right now.
What's that left?
Cover going out. Reloading. Shadows traveling.
Okay.
The fact that this is working is crazy.
Flank.
There they are.
One's behind
While
me.
you guys
Side,
were,
side.
while you guys were all, see, you guys were all vulnerable and you chose to push into a site. You don't have any info for site. This was a really bad play that just happened to work out. So you need to be very careful with these kinds of things, because this is dangerous. Because you'll see this, you'll be like, ah, we won the round. This was a good game, good play. It's not how that works. You can be the worst player ever. If you run and gun and get a headshot, that doesn't mean running and gunning is viable. You need to make sure that the play you're doing makes sense.
Okay.
The rotation would have been better. Like even after the 2 kills,
Time.
What's good back?
Cover going out.
because you're all vulnerable, you all could have died very easily.
Satchel out.
Hookah.
I suggest you move.
Scout destroyed.
Is this showers?
Grenade. Satchel out.
Triple. Anyone?
This was a really bad TP. You can't just TP out in the open like that. If anything, I would kind of accept if it was into a smoke. So if you smoked and then did that, but it makes it predictable and you're still very vulnerable.
I have the spike.
Time to hunt.
Reloading.
They're concussed. Healing over here.
There's 3 on site.
Headshot. My ult's ready. Seek them.
You should rotate here.
There's Vandal.
Shadows traveling.
It's you and me.
Someone's in defender spawn.
One side, I guess.
Spike planted. Blinding.
That was a bad fight.
One's flanking, yeah.
You shouldn't
pretty
peek
sure.
long angles with a short range weapon.
Healing. Reloading.
So this just came down to not picking a good spot to be in.
Hawk out. Blind.
You should have waited that nade out, and then you should have gone back to play around your spike.
Diffusing, diffusing.
One enemy remaining.
Clutch. Reloading.
Wait.
Yeah. Honestly,
Spike down.
we don't even really need to go through the rest of this. We could probably guess about what the rest of the issues are, because you got a lot of stuff you got to work on. So, you need to focus, because you're making a lot of really bad decisions. So like you're not using your util good. This comes from basically just like not really knowing the game. So you should be looking at like probods. So look up probods for Omen. Check it out. But it feels like you're just not very used to the game. You should probably be looking to focus more on your fights and then map like awareness. Because it's a bit much. Because your crosshair placement is too low. So you float your crosshair around too much. You're crouching too much in your fights. It's a very bad habit that you have of dedicating yourself to a fight where you'll be fighting at least like one or multiple people, but you're not fully ready for the fight. You need to be able to strafe so that way you can dodge as much damage as you can, but you kind of just stick still and they're a sitting duck. You're not using the correct weapon for the right job. You're taking fights at long ranges with a gun that's more close range. Then it's not gonna net you any good kills by doing that, and you're just gonna end up taking free damage. So not using your util, you TP out into the open way too much. This gets you killed, or will get you be killed more. I don't know why you're not getting as punished as you should be getting. Your smokes, some of them aren't in the best positions. I'm not a smokes player, so I can't really tell you the best positioning, which is why I'm telling you should look up a Omen VOD for the map. But I know you put one smoke out in the middle of a site one time and just left it there. It's really bad because that just gives them the ability to use that smoke to their advantage. They can use it to get out of tube and go back site, or they can use it to get out of tube and go into CT to wait for the rest of their team, or just move between cubby and tube freely. Poor awareness. So you kind of will walk out into the open and then just die without fully expecting someone who's there, even though it should be fairly obvious that they were there. But then in other cases, you kept good awareness, so it's like it's just an inconsistency, letting me know that you're probably just not fully focused. You need to pre-round plan more. This might help you keep and maintain focus. This also will give you guys some structure to your round. You gotta play around your team's utility. You're trying to treat this like a death match. You'd run in without any assistance from your team. You need to let your initiators use their recon. Now you also need to be aware that you are playing Omen. You were up front a lot. If you're going to be playing like that, you need to be a duelist. Right. And other than that, your post plant positioning just wasn't great. You kind of just didn't really know where to go. You'd get that information from pro VODs or just over time. You just need to play the game more. Look at those VODs, and you should be good as long as you can understand it. If you end up with any questions, you can always ask me here in the Discord.